Hey everybody, Pat here from West Corners Custom Cycles, back in the underground garage. Sorry I've been gone so long. The wife and I are both getting over a bout of COVID. Been down for about a week and a half, but I just tested negative, so hopefully that's all over and done with. Time to get back on this. As you know, if you've been watching the build, you've been following the videos, you know this is up and running. The runnability is all taken care of. It starts, it runs, lights all work, all that good stuff. So now comes the fun part. We're ripping it down. I'm going to take everything off of here. Front tire and fender and all that's coming off. Everything on the rear end here is coming off. Shock, swing arm, differential, brake hub, tire, everything is going off. I have replacements for all of it that came off the 94 chopper build. If you haven't seen that, it's here on the channel. There's a playlist. There's all kinds of videos on it. Check it out if you get a chance. So in a couple of seconds when I come back through the magic of video, all that stuff's going to be off of here, and I'm going to show you what I've got to put back on it, and we'll go from there. We're going to make this thing look cool, take it out, run it up and down the road. All right, be right back. All right, everybody, little change of plans. Instead of ripping this thing down, what I was going to do is rip it right down to the forks, the frame, and the motor. Everything else was coming off. I'm going to do front end first, then I'm going to do the rear end. That way it's got at least one tire to sit on while I'm working on the other side and the center stand. That way it'll be more stable. But I want to get you in here, show you what the front end looks like, things I'm going to do to it, and then we'll show you the before and after. Okay. Okay, this is the front end. As you can see, this fender down here in the back, I don't know if you can see it, I'll turn it so you can see it better. It's got a bunch of dents in the back here. Another thing I noticed, the short end of the fender is on the back here. The longer end is on the front. I'm going to try and change that around so I can keep more stuff off the bike if I ever do get caught in the rain. But this fender's slammed right down to the tire, so I'll see if it makes a difference if I turn it around. I can't have it rubbing on the tire. You see the dents now? So, another thing, these 84 and 5 Viragos, the gold color on these front rims is a much darker gold than the 86 to 98. I've got a set of the later rims I'm going to put on here with different rotors. It's going to look a lot better. Another thing that we got going on here. No, you really got a heck of a glare on that. There we go. You can see how rusted up and everything these chrome pieces are. I'm going to polish everything up. That'll all go away. Anywhere on the bike here. This lens. Tire turn. Somebody definitely laid this down because this lens is all scraped up around the side here. I got another set of lenses. We'll put them on it too. So we're gonna change out the fender. So we're gonna change out the fender and the rim, turn the fender around, clean up everything, get all the rust off everything, and hopefully after that, there's another thing I noticed is that this headlight is extremely loose. So I'll take care of that too. And that should take care of the front end. I'm probably going to throw a different pair of handlebars on here too. I think I'm going to go either 10 or 8 or 10 inch ape hangers. Depends on which risers I use. If I use these risers, these are off the 84 and 5. They're shorter. The ones off the 86 and later, they're about 2 inches longer. They come out to about here, but I'll probably turn them around so they come out and up this way. But, all right, so that's what we're looking at on the front end. Give me 2 seconds. I'll have you back here with everything off it. There. All right, everybody, I got this front wheel off. I just wanted to give you a close-up and show you the difference between the two rims. This is the one that came off of it. This is the 1984 and 5 are this gold color. And the 86 and later ones are this color. As you can see, it's a little lighter gold. See if we can't split it half and half here, and you can see what the difference is. Rotors are different, color of the rims is different. Other than that, everything's exactly the same, no interchange. So I'm going to get this tire on here, this one here, and once I get that on, I'm going to get the brakes all bled out. We'll get the rest of that front end all cleaned up, and I'll show you the whole done thing when I get it all back together. All right, catch you in a bit. All right, everybody, I'm back. It's the very next day. I spent several hours out here yesterday after that last segment, going through this front end and cleaning all the surface rust off it, and doing everything that I told you I was going to do. I want to get you in here and show you a few things. Hang on. Okay, this is the front fenders. This is the one that came off of here. You can see how pitted up and nasty the chrome is on it. Plus, this is the one with the dents in it. So I had this other one, no dents. It's got an aluminum mount. It wasn't chrome, so the chrome's not all pitting. No dents in this thing anywhere. So that's the one we're going to use on it. Now, these are the other fender struts I told you that fender struts, risers for the handlebars that I told you I might use. And I'll show you the difference here. As you can see, these ones are way longer than the other ones. So I'll probably put these on here and maybe turn them around this way. So, and another thing I noticed, that with these third generation longer risers, the handlebars that they used on the 86 and later, the third gen, the handlebars didn't come up this high. They laid way flatter. So I think I'm going to use these handlebars, the second generation handlebars, and the third generation risers. Here, I'll show you. I found a third generation set of handlebars. See how much flatter they are? They're just, I don't know, maybe they're just tilted different. Now even this is different over here, the angle. So these were flatter because these risers came out farther to put the handlebars in the same place. So if I use those other risers here, they'll give me about 1.5 inches, and if I use these bars, I should set these bars up a little higher, be a little more comfortable, a little more shoulder level. So that's what we're going to go with. Now, another thing I found out, I'm going to bring you around to the front of the bike here. All right, now that I got you up front here, I can show you this is the bottom of the headlight bucket. And all, well, you can see it right in here, there's a little notch busted out. Well, that's where this went. And that's why that headlight was moving around so much. So I'm going to see what I can do to fix this. I'm going to try and epoxy this piece back into the bottom of the bucket here. Get some of this wiring out of the way so you can see better. But this goes right up in there like that. So I'm going to try and fix that. If I can, great. I'll mount it back in there. And if the epoxy doesn't hold, then I'll be buying a new headlight bucket. Just this back part. It's just plastic. But I think I can fix it. And then the other thing I think is the last thing. All right. These turn signals here came off the chopper build that I did. As you can see, around the edge here is not gold trimmed. These are the ones that came off of it. The edge of them, this part right here is trimmed in gold, but these were in way worse shape. The lenses, let's see if you can see it here, were really scraped up along the edge, all along here. And they were just in horrible shape. So I took these ones off. I put those back on. Bring you around here and show you. Okay, so that's what they look like. Those are going to be the turn signals that stay on there. Looks a lot better than it did. And I spent hours out here yesterday. I don't know how well you can notice it, but all up on here and down to about here, oh, probably 6-8 inches down. Readjust the camera here. This part of the forks and probably 6 inches down on here was all surface rust. So I got all that cleaned up, all that's off. And so now I'm going to get this front fender on there. We got the new turn signals on there, the new front tires on there. So there you go, everybody. That gives you an idea how everything's going on this, what this front end's going to look like. I'm going to get that front fender back on there. I'm going to get them risers on here. I'll come back, show you what that looks like. And I'm thinking about, I have a plastic windshield I was thinking about throwing that on here, but nah, I don't know. Comment, let me know what you think. I'm kind of on the fence about it. But, all right, let me get that fender and those risers on here. You can see what it looks like all back together, all polished up and done, and we'll go from there. All right. Hey everybody, Pat here from West Corners Custom Cycles. Welcome back to the Underground Garage. Just got back from the Glenn Curtis Motorcycle Museum yesterday. Had a couple of bikes up there for the weekend for the bike show. I put up an hour-long video of walking around the bike show, showing everything that was up there. If you get a chance, check it out. A lot of cool bikes to, look at and check out. A lot of other stuff, too. We had a lot of aviation and early transportation up there. Cars, trucks, everything. But I want to get back on this Virago, show you where I'm at, some of the things I got ready for it. Like I said, we're working on the front end. I have the headlight bucket here. That's going to be the next thing I tackle on that. I did repair the bucket that's out on the bike. It looks like it's going to hold. So I want to show you what I got to do to clean this up. I'm going to get you in here. All right, I want to get you in here, show you where I'm at, things that I'm doing. I hope you can see this. I don't know how well you can. You can see how rusted up in here this is and where I got it cleaned right over here. Quite a difference. I got a lot to go. Try and get down in there and get as much of it cleaned up as I can. I'm hoping you can see this is pretty clean down here. There's still a little bit in here I'm going to try and get at. But this is what it started looking like. So we're going to get this cleaned up as best we can. And I'm going to show you how I'm taking care of all this rust here. I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to bring this in here. Now I'm going to take all this apart. See all the rust in here? We're going to get rid of all that. A little bit on the outside here. Even on this ring here. We're going to pull this all apart. And we're going to clean up all these pieces. And you're going to be amazed at how much different it looks. All right. Before we do that, a couple of things I want to show you. These are some other things I got going for the bike. That's the swing arm, all repainted, ready to go. These are the engine guards. There's one over here. I scuffed these all up and cleaned them all up and hit them with self-etching primer and then chrome paint. Chrome paint never looks like chrome, but they look a whole lot better than they did. Okay, let's get back on this headlight. All right, to take this all apart, these are just a couple of mounting screws right here. Got to take the 2 long screws here inside the springs out. And that's what holds the headlight into this gold ring on the outside of it. It's also what's used to adjust the headlight. Don't lose your spring. That one seems to be a little stripped out. All right, let me get this out of here. All right, I'm back. Had to get a pair of needle nose vice grips and clamp onto the end of that screw. Like I said, don't lose your springs. See, now the headlight pops right out of there. We don't really got to worry about it. I'll clean this chrome ring up here too. We'll make that look better. And this will just slip right out of here, in theory. There we go. And that's how it all separates, kids. But you can see before and after. I'll show you in a minute. And I saw, I don't know how well you can see it, a little bit of flat spot in here. I'm going to see if I can't re-round that back out. Okay. Way we do this is what I use. Chrome polish. I'm sure there's a million brands out there. I like this brand. No, I don't have any affiliation with them. But then after that, I'm going to hit it with regular car wax so that it'll put a moisture barrier between what we cleaned up and the elements. And that way, hopefully it'll be a while before that ever happens again. Looks like that's a little out of whack too. See what we can do about making that fit a little better. But, all right. Let's see. Take a clean rag. Just like that. And start scrubbing. Now I'll show you. I'll just do a little spot here. And as you saw, that little hole there has quite a bit of rust around it. So I'm going to do this spot, show you how it compares to the rest of this ring. And this is all it is. You just scrub it with it, really. And if I get any real tough spots, I kind of let it soak a little bit. I put a little on there and let it soak into the rust for a little bit, and then I'll scrub it. Watch how well this works. Now, just in that little time, see what it was, what it's becoming. Not a huge improvement on it. Some of this stuff is pretty pitted up on this, but on most chrome, if it isn't too bad, it will really, really shine it up nice. But let's see, I want to show you something. See all that on there? Watch this. Well, didn't realize I was out of shot. Like I said, don't be afraid to use this stuff either. Get a generous amount on there and just start doing this. It literally scrubs the rust off. Yeah, it takes a minute. And yeah, your finger will get tired and sore. But the result is amazing. And it doesn't cost you any money to make your bike that has surface rust on this, like this, look an amazingly lot better. Watch. Keep spreading it on there. Okay, this is what we had. Now look at it. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it looks one heck of a lot better than it did. And that's just a quick scrub, and I'm going to do it a little more. From that. All right, I'm going to get the rest of this done. You don't need to watch me do it. I just showed you what you got to do. We're going to do the ring. We're going to do that. I've already taken all the chrome that is on this bike that I have taken off of it. It's upstairs in a box. I have scrubbed it all up as best as I can get it and waxed it. I'll show you that when we come back. All the pieces I have ready to go on this bike. This right here is the differential that's going to be going on it. This came off the 94 build, but it's in way better shape, and the paint on it is, well, it's powder coat, I think, is way better shape than what the one is on there. And then this is the brake hub I got for it. I literally got this for $8 off eBay. So everything that's going on this bike is going to look a whole lot better than it did. Okay, there you have it. We're getting everything cleaned up on this bike. It's going to look 100 times better than it did. And I'll come back when I got this stuff all cleaned up. We'll get back out in the garage. I'll get this headlight back in the headlight bucket. And I think that might tie up the front end. I think you're going to see I wound up having to use the short risers that were on it, but I'll show you that when I get out there. All right, see you in a minute. All right, I want to show you one more thing. See how heavily rusted this thing is? Something else I do. This is just a wire brush. If you can get a brass one, that's even better. And I scrub it around to get a lot of the heavy stuff off. That's what I did on the shocks to get them so clean. See the difference? Then hit this with chrome cleaner. You're gonna freak when you see what the difference is. Which is why I always use this stuff. And like I said, it's not gonna bring it back 100%, especially if it's this rusted. But it is gonna make it look 100% better. In just that amount of time. Look at the difference. And there's a few scratches in there from it. I guess I should be using a wire, but that's going to be on the inside of the headlight. Nobody's going to see it. Use a brass brush. It probably won't scratch it as much. All right, people. Get back at this. As you can see, night and day. Okay, there you go. All right, I wanted to show you how well this turned out. Pretty amazing compared to what it was. It's not 100% perfect. There's still some pitting and stuff in there from where all the rust was, but it is 100% better than it was. You know, remember all the rust that was on the outside of this? Well, there you have it. That's what I do. You know, it's not going to take out scratches that were there and stuff, but it's going to make it look a heck of a lot better. All right, I'm going to go get this on the bike, show you what I did to the front end. I'm going to have to use, like I said, those short risers, and I'll show you why when I get out there. All right, let's get outside. Okay, I told you I was going to show you what was up with these risers and why I got to use the short ones that are on there. You can see what the difference is in diameter in these things. This one here is probably 3/8. This over here is probably 7/16 maybe. So anyway, this riser right here would not fit in the hole for that one. I would have to change out the top part of the triple tree to the newer top plate of the triple tree to accommodate this fat handlebar riser here. So I will not be using these, but let me get you over here, show you what's going on with this headlight, and we'll go from there. Okay, everybody, we're out back in the garage. Gonna get this headlight back in here. Got to plug the headlight back in, make sure all these wires are tucked back in there out of the way. I haven't really moved them around much, so it should go back in there. I don't know if you remember me telling you this headlight bucket was broken. The center part here, let me get you in a little closer if I can. There you go. This center part right here, and it went right back in. I'm going to get you some light. There we go. I don't know if that's too much. You can see the crack going along the back there. Right along the back. And it came down the sides here on both sides. And this bucket was completely loose from the center part right here. But I don't know if you can see it. I'm shaking the whole bike around with it right now. Here, let me back out again. Right here. And it seems to be pretty stout. So I'm going to get the headlight back in here, and that should just about button up the front end for us. So that's fixed. Headlight will be out, is all cleaned up. I'll get it back in. Give me a second, I'll be right back. It's just 2 screws. You don't need to watch me do that. You got to tuck it up under this little tab here, plug in the headlight. Screw goes in here and the screw goes in this side. All right, give me a second. Okay, everybody, I'm back. As you can see, this is in. It's literally like half an hour, 45 minutes later. It is amazing how many wires and plugs they got tucked in here. And you got to get them around just right so that this fits in here and you can get both screws in. Plus, the 2 tabs on the side where the screws go into were a little out of whack, and I had to keep adjusting them until they finally lined up. So, that's on, ready to go. Okay, it still works. Hopefully everything's good. Another thing that's been bugging me a little bit, see this plug right up in here? Somebody at one time changed this stuff because this would be trimmed in gold just like the headlight and the rest of the bike if they weren't. These are off a 700 or a 750. What I'm going to do, for 2 reasons. 1, to make that look better. And 2, to keep water out of there. If I ever do get caught in the rain, I don't want water going right in the back of that plug. So, cut me a piece of rubber. Nothing special. Not really even very thick. It looks more like vacuum line. I don't even think it was fuel line. But, probably 5/16, 3/8. Anyway, I'm going to tuck this right in here like that, right over the turn signal wires, so that'll keep the bottom portion of it back. And then I'm just going to tuck it right in here. A little bit at a time. Push a little on the top, a little on the bottom, get it worked in there. And like I said, it's not going to serve any function except to cover that up and make it less visible. There we go. There, as you can see, now you can't see the plug anymore, and the water's going to get in there. Doesn't look bad. Looks better than it did anyway. I'm going to work on getting this in here a little better. And that plug gets in there, might not let me get it in there. There we go. Tuck the bottom in. Okay, there it is. Okay, everybody, I wanted to back off here a little bit, go over everything we've done on this front end. Everything's either been replaced, cleaned up, well, everything's been both those things, but we put a new tire on it and rim. The wheel's different. It's off the 94. It's got different rotors on it and a decent tire. The one on the other two tires that were originally on this bike had dry rot and cracks. We replaced the fender, shined it all up. Doesn't have dents. I don't know if you remember the original fender. Right here was all dented up. The chrome on this was all pitted up and nasty. So we replaced the fork support and the fender over there. I decided to keep the forks that were on here because these forks are actually, they have an air adjustment up here. You can actually add air to the shock. It is hydraulic, but it does have an air boost up here. You can give it a couple extra pounds to stiffen it up, raise it up if you want. We went through the entire headlight. I showed you everything we did on that. Everything's been scrubbed. Got all the rust off it with rust remover. I actually went through and replaced these front blinkers with ones that were on the 94. The ones that were on here had a little gold trim around here, but they were really in bad shape. So those have been changed out. And what else did we do to it? I think that's about it. Cleaned everything up. It's all ready to rock and roll. The only thing I still have to do to it is or wait a minute, those are the blinkers that were on there. The only thing I changed out was the lenses. That's right, because the lenses were all messed up, but they were trimmed in gold. I just changed out the lens. This is part of it, the edge here. Because what I also did was I took the front blinkers off that were on the 94 are going on the rear of this bike back there, because usually rear turn signals aren't also riding lights, but the front ones are. So this way it'll have riding lights all the way around, be way more visible. But there it is, the whole front end done, cleaned up, ready to go. Now I'm going to move to the back end of this bike. Get you over here. Our next video is going to be removing this tire, removing the differential, removing the shocks, the entire swing arm. All is coming off. The brake hub on the other side, everything is coming off here and getting replaced with stuff that I have from the 94. You can see these shocks are trimmed in gold up at the top, but they're in really rough shape. I'm putting the ones, they're just going to be all chrome from the 94 on it. The rim's going to be different. You can see this rim is considerably golder than that rim. This one's more silvered out. But the other rim is way more clean, has a better tire on it, so that's why that one's getting used. Let me get you in here quicker, or closer. As you can see, that's what the differential and the shocks look like. You can see the rust on them. Same with the swing arm. All this is getting changed out. I already went through and repainted that foot peg. You've seen that in one of the other videos. I got the other one for the other side done too. So all this is getting pulled off. Tune in next week. Okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning back in. Like I said, front end's all done on this thing. Lights are all working. Everything's good now. Back together, cleaned up, polished up, ready to go. Like I said, next week I'm going to get it. The whole rear end on this thing's getting replaced. I think while I got it off, I'm going to show you something else I got going on, but I'm going to mask this off and touch up this rear frame so it looks a whole lot better. This part of it you don't see, tank seat will be on that. So, all right, as always, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and comment. We love the comments, you know. And be safe, be good to each other, live life behind bars. I'll catch you next week.